I'm Chris Folkstead, youth pastor at the Alliance Church of the Valley in St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin. I went to Tanzania. We went there to put in new wells as well as to share about the living water, Jesus Christ. Caden has always liked looking through my picture book from my trip to Africa and has always been interested in the elephants or the giraffes. But I hadn't had a conversation with him in quite a while about Africa, and then we're driving in the car. Pretty much out of the blue, he just said,
"Dad, do you know there's not very many churches in Africa?"
It was an odd question for him to ask, I thought.
Caden, how did you know that there wasn't a lot of churches in Africa?
God told me.
I said, well, what do you want to do about it?
Raise money for the church in Africa.
He said that he needed a lot of tools, he needed friends to come and help him, he needed his uncle to come and help him build it because he's a great builder. It was cool for me to hear that, but at the same time I was not really thinking, wow, this is something we could really do. I just thought, this is a cute thing that my 4-year-old is saying in the back seat. Last February, our church was hosting a Worship in the Word weekend with Dave and Tara Powers. On Friday night, Dave asked me if I thought it would be okay if Caden came up and shared his story with those who were at the prayer retreat. He and Dave went and stood on this large map that was laid out in front of the church, and they went and walked around Africa. And Dave told different stories that he had seen and he had known about that was happening in Africa. Dave asked Caden just a few questions. He said, "Caden, I heard that you want to do something in Africa as well. What is that?" And he said, "I want to build a church in Africa so that people can know about Jesus too." Part of what we were doing that night was reading through the Psalms, and Dave said that he reminded us that we need to be not just hearers of the word, but doers of the word. The point in the Psalm came where it said, bringing your gifts to the Lord. And pretty soon, these 100 or so people that were gathered at this retreat started coming forward and laying cash and checks and change. In the course of about 5 minutes, our friends, family, church, and community had given almost $3,500. We were just taken back and so excited about what God was doing. Over the next couple days, I received proposals really from 3 different countries in Africa. My wife and I and Caden had an impossible decision to make. Where would we build this church? We prayed about it, and the one that we kept being led back to was building a church in Mali. They had 2 churches available for us to build. We figured it was going to be around $6,000 to do both of them. And if we could raise $3,500 this quickly, we can raise the rest of that money as well. Much of the money that's come has come in from children and families. His friends have been able to help him do his lemonade stand. 2 of Caden's friends brought their allowance money and wanted to give it to help build these churches. One of our good family friends came up to me and he said, our daughter Hannah said, when we're done raising money for Caden's churches, do you think it would be okay if we raised money for houses? Because I think they need houses in Africa too. So I wrote the missionaries another email, and they said, the next church that we're going to be building doesn't have a home for the pastor to be living in. It would be great for us to be able to put a house there. Hannah kind of joined the team. So now there was 2 4-year-olds that were out telling their story, raising money for churches and houses in Africa.
Thank you for helping build a church.
Knowing now that these children have a place to meet and their families have a place that they can come to in their own village to sing and to worship and to hear about the Lord is amazing for us. Knowing that when we're gathering in our church in St. Croix Falls, that there's also 2 churches in Africa that are gathering as well. They're worshiping the same Lord, and that Caden was able to be a part of raising the funds to build those churches. If God is giving you a dream, whether it seems small or seems impossible, I hope that this story is a reminder to you that God speaks to children, that God answers prayers. Be encouraged and know that God can do very big things through you.